All right, let's do a quick check of the questions that y'all just had. So y'all were supposed to identify the subject and the verb of the sentence, Sam plays basketball. So your first sentence says identify the subject in the sentence, Sam plays basketball. Sam is our subject because Sam is the one doing something in our sentence. 2, identify the verb in the sentence, Sam plays basketball. Plays is our verb because that is what Sam is doing. Sam is playing basketball. So let's go over singular and plural. So in today's lesson, we're focusing on the words singular and plural. So single means one. So think of singular or singular as single or one. I'm single, so I'm singular. So think of singular as single, which means one. Because if you're single, there's just one. And then think of plural as many. Plural is the opposite, it's many. So if we look at this picture, we have one single butterfly. So butterfly is singular. And then if you look at this picture, there's 2 butterflies or many butterflies. So butterflies is plural. So when we look at our sentences, our subjects and our verbs must agree with each other. If the subject of a sentence is singular, then that means the verb has to be singular as well. If the subject of a sentence is plural, that means our verb has to be plural as well. So you're probably like, what does that mean? Let me explain it a little bit more. So the word dog is singular. There's only one dog. So a singular subject takes on a singular verb, and that's how they agree with each other. So an example, the verb jumps agrees with dog. We could say the dog jumps because that makes sense. We wouldn't say the dog jump because that doesn't make sense. Jump does not agree with dog because it is not the singular verb. It is not the singular version of the verb. Let's go into another example with the plural. So the subject dogs is plural because we're talking about many dogs or more than one dog. So a plural subject takes on a plural verb. So one rule that we can use is when we're doing a plural verb, we just remove the S from the end. So our correct version is verb of the verb is jump. So instead of saying the dogs jumps, we say the dog jumps or the dog jump. The dogs jump, sorry. So our sentence says the dogs jump because dogs and jump, they agree with each other. So when y'all are going through these, because I know that sounds slightly confusing, I want you to ask yourself, does the subject agree with the verb? Does it make sense? When you are talking about the dog, who is singular, should you say the dog jumps or should you say the dog jump? You can tell which one makes sense. The dog jump, that doesn't sound right. We know that it should be the dog jumps because jumps is the singular version of the verb. When we want to make it a plural version, we want to change it to its plural form, we'll just remove the S. And when we want to move dog into the plural form, our subject, we'll say dogs. So then we'll say the dogs jump. I know that's slightly confusing. I want y'all to go ahead and practice on your own.